Hey, this is State Representative Gary Clake, and I've had so many people ask me about issue one. A lot of people are confused on both sides of the aisle. People saying, do we vote yes? Do we vote no? Why do we vote yes? Why do we vote no? What is gerrymandering? So let me just tackle that with you just a little bit today and give you a clear understanding and encourage you to share this video. We've got just less than a week away before we get to the election. And I want you to know why you should vote no on issue one. So Elbridge Gerry was actually one of our founding fathers, and he signed the Declaration of Independence. He was actually the fifth vice president of the United States under James Madison, that great constitutionalist, that father of our Constitution. But Elbridge Gerry had a way of drawing districts, and he knew how to draw them to favor his political party. And so much so, somebody looked at one of his maps and they said, "That's a salamander. That looks like a salamander." And so they said his districts look like salamanders. And so they took the word and the name salamander and combined it with his last name. And that's how you get gerrymandering. And so the way the Democrats would talk and the way you're listening to people talk about this today is you would think that the Ohio maps they're just filled with salamanders all over the place. This district looks like a salamander, that district looks like a salamander, every district looks like a salamander. And the reality is that's not true. That's not true at all. So let me just show you a couple of the maps, and it's blurring it out there. I can see that. So I will actually just edit this in, but you don't see any salamanders in this map whatsoever. That map has no salamanders in it. It's a good map. It looks great. And that's your congressional districts. Let's take a look at the Ohio Senate districts. It's probably going to blur it out again. Those are the Senate districts. I will put that on there so you can see it. I'll edit that in. The Senate districts. There are 33 Senate districts. Not one of them looks like a salamander. And now let's go to the State House. These are the State House districts. No salamanders. There is no gerrymandering taking place. In fact, the current maps that we're working from were voted on in a bipartisan fashion unanimously. They are not gerrymandered. In fact, you can even look at my district if I can find it here. Right there it is, Seneca and Sandusky County. It's a rectangle. That's not gerrymandering. There's no salamander in there. See, the Democrats don't have a gerrymandering problem. They have a geography problem. Look at this map here. That's a beautiful red map. And you would just guess that the Republicans just went to town and won in a landslide, but you might be ahead of me. You might be looking at the title already on the top. And that's the year that Barack Obama beat Mitt Romney by 200,000 votes. You see, the issue is that Democrats tend to cluster in the metropolitan cities, while Republicans tend to spread out in the rural areas. That's neither good nor bad for anyone except for the Democrats, as it causes them to lose some seats. In fact, you can just take a look. Let me grab my phone here. And if you take a look at the Democrat seats, many of those Democrats will win by 70, 80, or 90% in a fair election because they are so condensed in those metropolitan areas. And so let's just take a look at some of these real quick here and see. Representative Dontavius Gerald's District 1 is unopposed. Makes no sense for a Republican to run against Dontavius, Representative Gerald's, because they would never win. District 2, Latanya Humphrey, she's unopposed. Who else? District 3, Rep. Ismail Mohammed, unopposed. District 5, Meredith Lawson Rowe, Democrat, unopposed. Allison Rousseau, District 7, House Minority Leader, unopposed. Why is that? Rep. Samani, she's expected to return to the State House for a second term, it says in Gongwer. Her opposition in the Columbus area district with a Democratic index of 61.49 is Republican Aaron Newman, who previously ran an unsuccessful race for the GOP nomination for the Senate seat currently held by Senator Kunze. So what you see is, and this is one of the low end of the spectrum here, she's got 61% in District 8. Rep. Marina Abdullahi is unopposed in District 9. In District 18, Rep. Brent appears set to secure a fourth term. Her opponent in the deep blue Cuyahoga County District with a Democrat index of 89.04% is Justin Anderson. Well, good luck, Justin. Thanks for trying. You're not going to make it in that kind of a district. Representative Upchurch has a district that's a 90.31% Democrat index. District 21, we find a Democrat index of 77.47. So Attorney Eric Syenberg edged out Angel Washington in the Democrat primary. And so he's going to win. There's no doubt about it in a district like that. Rep Brewer is another Cuyahoga County incumbent who's going to have an easy route with an 87.12 Democrat index. In District 24, Representative Isaacson appears to be on cruise control for a second term. His district is 72.5% Democrat. And so we see, all through this, the Democrats have a strong majority, and there's a few others, we won't read them all, but they have a very, very strong majority in those Democrat cities. So there's only one or two ways there may be three ways where they can improve their odds, because what happens is we have 99 members in the state house of representatives. Right now, the index, or not the index, but the actual representation is 67 Republicans and 32 Democrats. And they think it ought to represent the statewide average of 54 to 46 approximately. And that's based on how we elect our statewide candidates. But the reality is these are regional elections, not statewide elections. The only way they can improve their numbers is one or two, three ways maybe, is number one, they can move. Pick up and move, spread out. If you spread the Democrats out, see, you don't have to win by 87%. You don't have to have a 90% or a 70% index to win. Really, you only have to have one more vote than 50%. But, if you could get a 55 or a 60% margin, you can feel safe. My margin in my district is 63%. I actually won by 60 with a 68% vote last time, but that's irrelevant because you can't even gerrymander me out of my district unless you bring in all the way out from Toledo to get in here. This is a red territory, red Republican territory. But if they want more votes, they should spread out, dissipate that vote down a little bit, because if they do that, then they can win some of those races outside. But the other alternative, which is the one they're going for, is they can gerrymander. And that means they have to go into those little blue districts and draw spikes out. They draw a head out of there, draw a leg over here, a leg over here, leg out of here, and a tail, and make it look like a salamander coming out of those major metropolitan areas. And if they can do that, then maybe they can get a few more seats. So the two options they have so far is to move. The second one is to gerrymander, or the third one is they could come up with some better policies and better candidates. Right now, they are so woke that even the majority of Democrats don't agree with their woke social agenda. And they've gone so far left that one of my friends says the left has left the left. And that means when we come into some of those districts where it's close, and there are some what we call purple districts, they're right around 48 to 52, somewhere in that margin. And it's within the margin of error, and a good candidate on one side, even though the numbers might be not in their favor, can beat a bad candidate on the other side if they have a strong message and if they work hard and if they raise the money. But rather than do that, rather than have good, solid, moderate policies, they go to the extreme left. And they leave the independents out. They leave the moderate Democrats out, who don't believe in things like men competing in women's sports or giving sex changes to children. Actually, 54% of Democrats agree with us on that, according to a recent poll by Baldwin Wallace. But they go so woke that they go broke. And so really, those are the three options, is to move, to gerrymander, or to get better candidates and better policies. So right now, issue one is what they are using to try to gerrymander, because there is an expected end. They say, according to issue one, you have to draw the districts for an outcome. In other words, you have to come with this certain outcome. That is going to be the goal of the redistricting commission, is to have these numbers. Well, listen, if they're going to tell you what the numbers are, if they're going to tell you how many Republicans and how many Democrats, why would we even have an election? Why don't they just assign them? And by the way, the group that put this together, they call themselves citizens, not politicians. Stop me when you hear the word citizen. How does this commission get put together? They take 4 the ballot board selects 4 retired judges. By the way, judges are politicians. Anytime you put your name on the ballot, you are a politician. And so they're going to have 4 retired politicians, 2 Republican, 2 Democrat. They are going to select the first 6 commission members. By the way, you haven't heard that C word, citizen. You haven't heard that word yet. So it's retired judges picking from this group of people, and then this group of people picks the remaining 9 people to make up a 15-member panel. And by the way, no one can get kicked off of that panel. The average citizen is not there. You heard the word citizen. Now, what you're going to hear about the citizen is they cannot talk to the commissioners about the maps that they're drawing. Let me tell you something. When we were doing our last maps, I had citizens come to me. They'd see me in the grocery store. They'd see me at Walmart. They'd see me around town. They'd say, hey, Gary, please do not approve these maps. Guess what? I actually voted against the congressional maps. I bet you didn't know that, did you? I did. I voted against those congressional maps because I was listening to people in my district. And these commissioners, you are not allowed to approach them. You are not allowed to talk to them outside of a public meeting or a public forum. Citizens are totally excluded from this. And then it's just going to be impossible for them to be challenged. In the event they do get challenged, you have to pay their fees to defend their maps. No ifs, ands, or buts. The legislature has no choice in that. They are mandating that we pay for their expenses. They can hire whatever lawyer they want, who can charge however much they want. And this is a bureaucracy that the citizens have no part in. There is absolutely zero accountability, and you are left holding the bag. You have no say, but you're going to pay. And so I would advise you to vote no on issue 1. Issue 1 requires gerrymandering. And I'm pretty sure that even if this passes, it's going to be found unconstitutional at some point because it removes the voice of the people. We can't have that in Ohio. We just can't have that. That just destroys our republic. And we're not going to settle for that. That's why I'm urging you to vote no. Tell everyone you know to vote no. Put up a vote no sign in your yard. Share this post, share this video on social media. And when you go to the polls, if you want fair maps, vote no on issue 1. Thank you so much. This is Representative Gary Click, and hopefully I have explained this to you well. God bless you all. Go out and vote on November the 5th.